Hey guys, this is Nick from ForexForNoobs.com with the daily analysis. Today is Wednesday, the 29th of November 2017. The time is 10:20 here in the UK. You're looking at an AUDJPY daily chart. This is going to be the final webinar for posted to YouTube this year. There's going to be another webinar for mastermind members or for just course members in general tomorrow. But this is going to be the final webinar posted this year to YouTube. So for all you YouTube viewers, you won't be hearing from me until January next year. Reason being is I'm taking a 6-week holiday this year. So I'm taking all of December and the first 2 weeks of January off. I give myself holidays based on performance. And it's been a pretty good year for me. So I'm giving myself a 6-week holiday. 6 week Christmas holiday, and then probably a few weeks throughout the year too. But anyway, so yeah, for all the people who follow me on YouTube and watch my videos on YouTube, last video of the year. So hopefully we find some good setups. Let's get started with the analysis. In today's analysis, we're going to be looking for reversals and continuations across all of these pairs. I've got a bit of a cold, so my voice is a little bit strained at the moment. My throat hurts a lot, so I'm going to try to get through this as quickly as possible and stop stressing out my voice, or my throat rather. So let's get started. In yesterday's analysis wasn't posted publicly, it was for course members only. So in yesterday's analysis, we were looking at a few potential setups. So let's check out how those ones have played out, if anyone entered them. And then we'll look for some new setups. All right, so we're looking at a potential AUDJPY long, but the prerequisite for that was that it would fall further down into this support area. Doesn't seem like it has done that. It hasn't fallen anywhere close to this support area. So there's nothing much that we would have done here. I mean, it's still stalling on top of the area, above the area rather, but it hasn't come down to the area. So I'm not really going to trust any reversal that forms here. I'm still going to watch it though. Over the course of today, it could drop down into here and, you know, give us a reversal setup. It's not that strong. It wouldn't be that strong a setup because it's pretty messy to the left through here. But let's keep a close eye on AUDJPY for a potential reversal. All right, AUD New Zealand. Did anyone go long on this? I'm curious if anyone went long, because we were talking about a potential long yesterday, but in the end, the risk to reward ratio just wasn't really worth going long. So it doesn't look like any of you guys went long, so that is good. I believe when we were looking at it yesterday, it looked much different and it had a much better risk to reward ratio, but this candle, it pushed down so much that it just made it not feasible to enter this trade, because our stop loss would need to be below the lowest point and our entry would need to be at the highest point of this candle. So it just made it not feasible. So I'm glad you guys didn't enter. USDCAD. All right, we're looking at USDCAD potentially falling into a range. There's no confirmation that it's fallen into a range, but it looks like this could be the start of a range between two support resistance areas. So we were looking for a potential short yesterday. What I was looking for was indecision to form on this resistance area here. Right now, it looks like it's breaking through the resistance area, and that's fine. I'm going to still keep a very close eye on... let's move AUD New Zealand to the bottom because there's nothing going on there right now. But USDCAD, I'm still going to keep a very close eye on this. I want to see what this daily candle does. If this daily candle stalls out here and it starts to, you know, sellers start to come in and turn price around, then I'm going to be thinking that we might possibly get a reversal here, and that this kind of range has actually formed. So I'm going to keep a very close eye on this. I want to see what happens to this daily candle right now. Maybe even the 12-hour. I'm going to keep a close eye on all the time frames. I want to see if it stalls here. It doesn't look like it right now. It looks like it's headed up, and it looks like it's going to break through this resistance area, and that's totally fine. But it's worth keeping an eye on. All right, Euro New Zealand, we were looking for a potential continuation, but it hasn't really quite happened. There's nothing much going on there right now. That's off. Euro USD. We were looking for a potential continuation yesterday, but it's dipped below the area, so yeah, not much potential there anymore either, so that's off the table. So from yesterday, we still have two potentials, and the other ones didn't really give us any setups. Righto, so oh yeah, we were looking at AUDJPY also yesterday, weren't we? Or had that? I don't think we were looking at AUDJPY actually. There was already a short. Sorry guys, like I said, I'm sick. I haven't had much sleep. I tried to sleep, but I couldn't. So I'm not at my best today. So please bear with me. Righto. So AUDJPY is not doing much. It's reversing from this resistance area. But you know, for those of you who are short on AUDJPY right now, that's fine. But it's too late to get in short. You should have already been in if you wanted to. So, all right, CAD JPY, what's going on with that? It's just trending down, heading towards this support area. But right now, there's no real setup that I would want to trade. Euro AUD is bouncing from this support area. It looks like it's just continuing. But it's too late to enter a trade there. Euro GBP is falling quite fast from this resistance area. I didn't want to take this yesterday, but it looks like I should have. It probably wouldn't have been a good trade anyway. Let's be honest. Just because it's trending down, it probably wouldn't have been a profitable trade. It did spike up. So yeah, after it broke down, so you probably would have got taken out of that one. Anyway, so nothing really going on Euro GBP. Euro JPY looks pretty boring right now. It's bouncing from this support area, but there's no clear setup there right now. GBP AUD has broken above resistance, so let's keep a close eye on this, see what happens. It's trending up at the moment, so what I'd be looking for would be like a further push up than a test of this support area for a continuation. That would be quite good, but right now it's not really doing that. So GBPJPY is in between support resistance. Nothing much that I see there. GBPUSD, that looks somewhat interesting. Headed up to this resistance area, already reacting at this resistance area. This might give us a nice little short reversal trade with a tight target, counter trend, so I'd want to have a bit of a tight target. Yeah, awesome. Let's keep a close eye on GBPUSD. What I'm looking for on this is possibly the 12-hour candle. Closing as an indecision candle, maybe even the daily candle tomorrow. But what would be better would be one of the lower time frame candles pushing up into this area and closing as indecision. Then a nice little potential reversal would form there. So let's keep a close eye on GBPUSD. It has some potential. New Zealand JPY is in between support resistance right now, so no trade that I would want to take. GBP New Zealand, so unfortunate. I don't think Liz is in the room right now, but for those of you who were here yesterday, Liz was short. Liz is my partner, for those of you who don't know. She was short on this. She gets annoyed with trading a lot more than I do. I don't really get annoyed. I just let things go. If I lose a trade, I lose a trade. I don't really care that much. But she doesn't take it as well as me. She was short on GBP New Zealand, and it came so close to her target, and then some GBP news came out about Brexit, and bam, turned around. I try not to laugh, but it was funny seeing her get all enraged about this turnaround. And it is an unfortunate thing when you're so close to target and yet it just turns around because of some random news. It can be annoying. Now the question is, what's GBP New Zealand going to do from here? If anyone is anyone still short on this besides Liz? I think she's still short. I haven't asked her today, actually. I think even yesterday, most of you had closed out. A lot of you closed out when I closed this one out at break even on Friday. So it doesn't look like anyone else is in. For those of you who aren't in the room right now but are still in this trade, there's no real reason at this point to exit. It's come back up to this resistance area, and what's happening at this resistance area? It's forming indecision right now. Right now we're seeing a solid indecision candle forming. So if you're in the trade, you've held it for this long, you have two decisions right now. Close it out with a loss, or trust that this resistance area is going to hold price back and hold on to the trade. In situations like this, it just depends on the trader, really. If it was me, I'd probably have closed out at break even. I don't like to hold on to trades that aren't heading towards my target. It's very situational, of course. Sometimes I do, but in a case like this where it took this trade so long to head to the target, over a weekend, you had to have it open over the weekend. Then Tuesday it gets that close and it pulls back to here. So now it's Wednesday. It's back at where it started. When was this trade entered? 22nd. So that was last Wednesday. It's pretty much back at where it started last Wednesday. You're back at square one. I can't be bothered. Well, I'm not in it, but let's say I was. I would just say I can't be bothered, and I'd be closing this out. So totally up to the trader, totally up to how you want to handle it. But essentially, it's back at square one. We're getting indecision forming at resistance. So if you wanted to hold on, I see no real problem with it. It's just forming a new reversal. New Zealand USD is in between support and resistance, so there's not much opportunity there. USDCHF below support, so not much opportunity there. Whoa, USDJPY, nice little continuation setup we have forming here. Let's keep a close eye on that. So what am I seeing on USDJPY right now? We have a nice little indecision candle. Overall, it seems like, yeah, this has started to trend down. So it's trending down. Price has come up to resistance. It's stalling at resistance. And it looks like it's turning around and getting ready to head down. So that looks pretty interesting. I'm going to keep a close eye on this on the 12-hour. On the 12-hour, the 8-hour, maybe the 6-hour. I want to see how this plays out. I might jump in short here. It looks pretty cool. USDCHF, I think we looked at it, and if we didn't, it's just below. Euro New Zealand, I think we already looked at that. Nothing going on there. Just a cursory glance at gold and silver, see if they've started to move, but they haven't. They're still in that kind of tight range, so nothing going on there. So let's summarize what's going on today. GBPUSD is showing us a nice potential counter trend reversal here from this resistance area. Looks decent. What I want to see on the lower time frames, I want to see price come up to here and stall on this resistance area. Right now it's a bit too far below it, so we won't get a good risk to reward ratio. So I'd prefer it to push up a bit further and stall on the resistance area. USDJPY on the lower time frames, especially the 8-hour and the 6-hour, we're seeing a nice little potential continuation forming from this resistance area. So that has some potential. I want to keep a close eye on that. AUDJPY, it's not that great, but price is stalling above this support area. I want it to fall into the support area for a nice counter trend long reversal, small target. USDCAD, we're looking for this kind of range to form here. So what I want to see to confirm this range has formed is price to stall out here on this resistance area. Right now it doesn't look like that's going to happen, but hey, that doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. Just because buyers are pushing up right now, just because the bulls look like they're in control, there's nothing to say that that price isn't going to jump back down and it's going to stall here on one of the higher time frames and give us a nice potential short. So let's keep a close eye on it. A lot of potentials for today. Well, not a lot, but a few potential setups today that are worth keeping an eye on. I'd say USDJPY is the most immediate one. But GBPUSD and USDCAD, they both look pretty decent, so I want to see how they play out. And AUDJPY doesn't look that great, but I'm going to keep an eye on it regardless. Are there any questions, guys? For those of you who aren't Forex Mastermind or Price Action Mastery members, this is, again, I said it at the start, but I'm going to just say it one more time. This is the last webinar of the year for you guys. I'll be resuming in the second week of January, or the third week of January, rather. Thanks for watching the analysis. I hope it was useful. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the like button below. Also, for instant notifications when I post analysis or other cool videos, subscribe to my YouTube channel by clicking the subscribe button below. Once the setups I share in this analysis trigger, I post live updates as I manage the trade, such as my entry, exit, stop, and when to get out of the trade. For these updates, add me on Facebook or Twitter by clicking the buttons below. I'll see you in the next video.